Kia ora, Year 9. In this video, I want to go over how to multiply by powers of 10, and I'm going to use the following examples. I'm going to try and keep this reasonably short because for most of you, this will be partly at least revision. So I've got 3 examples there that have all got 3.15 times a power of 10. So why are these powers of 10? Well, 10 is 10 to the power of 1, right? 10 times itself one time. 100 is 10 to the power of 2, right? So it's 10 times 10, which is 100. So notice that we've got 2 zeros here, and we've got a power of 2. Right? This one here, 10 million, is 10 to the power of 7. Now, we could work that out slowly, but we can start to see that pattern coming from up here. So, for example, if you've got 10 to the power of 4, that's going to be 1 with 4 placeholder zeros, right? So that's 10,000. So when we first start out by doing this, we're thinking about place value, right? And our place value system works with powers of 10. So we'll start with this place value column that you've seen before, back when we were going over how to order decimals. And it goes like this. And we've got a big decimal point here. So we're starting out with 3.15 times 10, right? So the 3 means 3 ones, the 1 means 1/10, and the 5 means 5 hundredths. We can only fit up to 9 in each column, or it squishes over to the next one, and we can't have that, right? So when we have 3.15 times 10, the 3 needs to become 30. We can't fit 30 in the units column, so it has to become 3 tens. The 1 was 1/10, and now that's 10 tenths, which is 1 whole. And the 5 was 5 hundredths, right? So when we times that 5 by 10, that becomes 5 tenths, right? So we don't even think about that when we're doing it. Really, what most of us probably think about for this one is that 3 tens are 30, so the 30 is where the first place value is, right? But you can see what's happened is everything's moved over 1 column. In the next one, when we have 3.15 times 100, everything's going to move over 2 columns, right? So let's take that out and have a look again. Well, the 3 has to shift over to the hundreds column, 1, 2, so it becomes 300. The 1 becomes 10, and the 5 hundredths becomes 5 wholes. So our answer is 315. Now, some of you will have gone, yep, I get that there's this column thing going on in the background, but that's just a pain in the neck. So it really is. You'll notice that what we're doing is that we're ending up with the number 315. And you can see that that relates to this one by thinking about the decimal point being 2 columns shifted over. Now, we're not moving the decimal point, guys, right? We're actually multiplying each number by its place value meaning. But in the end, the decimal point has moved over 2 columns. So for this one here, where we've got 3.15 times all of those, we really don't want to have to keep doing this column thing. Right, so let's look at how we can do that without having to draw up a table in our book, because we don't want to be doing that. So let's look at the 3. Well, the 3, if we times it by 100, is going to give us 315. Now that's meant that I've already multiplied by 10 to the power of 2. So that leaves me with 5 more tens to go. So we're going to have 5 more zeros. So altogether, what we've done is we started with 3.15, and we can think of that as 3.15 with a ton of zeros after it. And we've moved over 7 place value columns. So the decimal point has ended up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and so it's going to be 315 with 5 more zeros. And it's nicer to write that so that we can read it. So it's 31,500,000. Okay, let's work with some small numbers now. And then there's going to be a couple of practice questions. And for my class, there'll be a Dr. Frost worksheet that goes with this. That should be pretty fast for most of you. So here we've got 0.004 times 10. So looking at what that means, we've got our ones column here. And we've got tenths. Here we've got hundredths. And here we've got thousandths. So we had 4 thousandths, right? And we want to times it by 10. So it's going to shift over to this column here. That will give me 0.04. The next one, we've got 0.06 times 1,000. And we're going to get away from this table soon, but first we're going to see what's happening. We're shifting over 3 place value columns, 1, 2, 3. So the 6 is going to end up here. Now let's look at how we could do this one now without the place value column to work with. So we've got 0.006 times 1,000. So this is 10 to the power of 3. So if we think about this happening, we know our number's getting bigger, and you can see that the decimal point has moved over 3 places, and it's ended up here, right? So that gives me 6. For this next one, I've got 0.07 times 1,000. So the first thing we can think about is we need to shift that 7 over 3 place value columns that way. So if we think about the first 2, we're going to end up with 7, and then 7 has shifted it over twice, and we've got 1 more to go, so it's going to be 70. The mechanical fast way to do that when you're dealing with small numbers is that you can put in a bunch of extra zeros that are meaningless in this setting, and you can say, well, I've got to move the place value of the 7 has to be moved over 3 columns, so the decimal place will end up being moved over 3 columns to here, and I get 70. Right, now I've got a few more examples for you to try. So just have a go, pause the video and have a go at those ones there, and I'm just going to pop the answers in for these. Okay, so you should have paused the video and got your answers ready with you. So 25.09 times 100,000 is going to equal this. Well, I need to move it over 5 places. So first I'm going to move over 2 places to get to the end of my digits, and then I've got 3 more to go. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So that's 2,509,000. The next one, 3.05 times 10,000. I'm going to move it over 2 first, and then I've got 2 left to go. Next one, 0.04 times 100. I need to move it over by 2 place value columns. So it's going to be simply 4. And in the next one, 0.07 times 100,000, I need to move it over 5 place value columns. So first, I'm going to move it over 2. That will get me 7. And then I've got 3 left to go, and we get 7,000. So there you go. That's how we multiply numbers by powers of 10. And the next video will go over how to do decimal division by powers of 10, but it's basically the exact same idea, but backwards. Thanks for watching, and have a lovely sunny day. I hope lockdown's going all right.